As of this edition of Power Report, the Dan from the Internet YouTube channel has hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, which is kind of awesome. I haven't really said that out loud, truly, ever, and it's sort of sinking in that I created a YouTube channel and 1,000 people subscribe to it. And yeah, I'm getting a little bit emotional thinking about it, but like that's really awesome. Like, thank you very much for believing in me enough to continue watching my videos, to comment on those videos, to make sure that they get in the algorithm and people see them, and especially believing in me from day one, back when I started the channel, when I sporadically released these videos. Thank you for being part of the journey and sharing the videos so that the community grows. It's really awesome, and I've got a lot of ideas with it, and a lot of the things that prevent me from making more content are because I want to uphold a certain kind of quality and something to make my videos and what I do not only just distinct from what everyone else does on YouTube, or at least from what most people do on YouTube. There will be some overlaps, but it goes more into the second thing of I want it to be something I'm proud of. I don't want to put up something that's rushed. I don't want to put up something that I haven't researched and thought of to some extent. I want to put up something that's quality, but the YouTube algorithm and news itself also demands things to be very quick and oftentimes bombastic and sensational. And a lot of what my project as a news producer has been is to fight against those things and to really go into the details about it and still, of course, have fun. But the fact that there are a number of people who believe in that mission and want to see it go forward, it means a lot, and I genuinely appreciate it. We're going to continue. It's going to be great. Hitting 1,000 subscribers on YouTube means I'm very close to a goal of monetization, which means I can start to make money and receive money off of some of the content that I make. And then once I do that, and once it continues to grow, if Dan from the Internet becomes a viable resource, then I can spend more time from it. I can make the videos better. It grows even more. And it just gets better and better and better. So I really appreciate that. I appreciate the new fans of Power Report who have come on, fans of The Damage Report with John Irola, TYT in general, fans of Kimberly Nicole Foster's show, or any of the other things I've been relatedly on. Thank you for joining and watching and continuing to watch, and I really appreciate it. And especially because this year's been pretty difficult. There was the death of my friend Courtney that I talked about in the bad news video to some extent. There's also the death of Michael Brooks that we've talked about in a Power Report episode, which reminds me of something that I kind of left this out of a lot of my Michael Brooks stories as it was happening because it was a little bit irrelevant. But my last conversation with Michael Brooks was about a t-shirt I had ordered from his website. And I was expecting the t-shirt. I thought it was going to be really cool, but it just got lost in the mail or whatever. So I emailed customer service and they were taking a while to get back to me. And so I did the I know Michael Brooks thing. I asked Michael directly, hey, what's up? Can I possibly get a shirt or something? And the dude responded to me. He responded back and said, oh yeah, I'm so sorry. Let me make sure. Let me get it back for you and all these things. And let me fix it for you. And of course, Michael Brooks and I conversations in the past have been a lot more about him trying to encourage me to do the thing I am now doing, which is talking in front of a camera about politics to a larger audience. And he believed in me to do this kind of thing at a time when I very much did not believe in myself to do the same thing, and in a time that I'm very still much getting used to it. So the passing of Michael Brooks has been rough, and going through those past couple of months without him has been kind of wild. But there's a lot of stuff I know that he is happy for, in the sense that his tradition, his legacy is being carried out through so many other different people that it's almost more than he could have done as one person. And that's ultimately what he wanted. But I did say all of that to say, long after we had that conversation, and a couple months after that he did ultimately pass suddenly, I finally got the package that's supposed to have the shirt in it. I don't know if it's going to be wrong or whatever, but I basically told myself that as a 1,000 subscriber gift to myself, I would open the shirt from Michael Brooks that I was sent. So how do I change on camera? I guess it's one of those snap things. So you go DMBS, baby. Left is best. Wow, it feels nice to have this shirt and to be wearing it finally. Last thing, I also discovered recently there's this whole section of my YouTube channel where YouTube flags comments and holds them before they're posted. And if you've been following my channel for a while, you know one of my favorite things to do is read the raunchiest, most ridiculous comments I get from people who are trolls and definitely, obviously hate me. But I'm going to read a couple that are just, you know, directed towards me, not directed towards me, just interesting in general. Like this one, which says, quote, Shapiro is a whore of Babylon. He is a right-wing racist. Is that redundant? Hashtag Babylon is fallen when the hashtag Fox fake news. It just kind of, it goes on like this. But the fact that someone kind of opened a comment with Shapiro is a whore of Babylon is just kind of like really hard. And I go at it. Like I'm super here for it. For some reason, a lot of people are still commenting a lot on my Ben Shapiro versus AOC video because I knew that Ben Shapiro uses stories about AOC to kind of just like give red meat to his base, even though the AOC story of the day is usually not the most important thing happening in the world. And even I'll admit that as someone who is somewhat partial to AOC as a politician. It's very easy to get his base angry and fired up about things that aren't even totally true, but it's just a very quick like boogeyman. Like, look, it's a woman, it's a Latina, and she's socialist, and get mad about this. It's really easy. But as a result, people, years after I've made this video, keep commenting on it, saying things like, oh, stop, the only reason AOC wouldn't debate Ben Shapiro is because he would embarrass her because there's no substance to her argument. Never mind the spelling mistakes in this. There's not much substance to Ben Shapiro's arguments. I've done multiple videos about this, more than I even care to do, detailing how there's no substance to his arguments. But, yeah, sure. And this is my favorite last one. Grand Dan Oiz says, okay, Dan from the internet. As a rhetorician, I find it odd you label Ben Shapiro's idea of debates as a way to virtue signal to people on the right who have already made up their minds. 1. There's such a thing as vote collecting strategies where your vote augmentation is based on informing and strengthening your side's viewpoints by reinforcing it with good arguments. But that's not what he's doing. Oh, he puts a 1.2 here, which is very funny. Signaling virtue is done by going out and doing stuff or making statements that have no arguments to them, in which point is to show others your virtues. It's just this. I love this man actually spent time trying to explain virtue signaling to me and trying to explain that Ben Shapiro is not doing it when that's literally the idea of his whole show. He's existing to virtue signal to conservatives. It's identity politics for white people, honestly. And he's good at it to the point where it justifies me talking about it, but not more than I really want to. So that's that. I'm going to enjoy the rest of this day. I hope you do too. There's going to be a lot more Power Report coming up very soon. And thank you for allowing me with this little experiment of doing these episodes where I'm just kind of talking as myself about these news topics. I'm hopefully going to get better at them as I do more of them. But I appreciate you all for sticking through this. And yeah, 1,000 subscribers to Dan from the Internet. 100,000 more. Let's go. Thank you very much for listening. I can be found on Twitter at Dan from the Web, at twitch.tv/Dan from the Web, streaming on Twitch sometimes, probably more soon. YouTube.com/Dan from the Internet, Instagram.com/Dan from the Internet. Power Report can be found on Dan from the Internet, and I also do a music podcast called Audio Face. You can check that out on Audio Face Pod on most social media platforms. And yeah, stay safe out there, stay sane out there, and I'll talk to you next time. Cheers.